right, team, stand up. New trade alert. New trade alert. Now, yesterday, Saturday, the Golden State Warriors landed a new player. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I needed a day to think about this, bro, because I ain't gonna lie, I really didn't know how to feel the first day. But I think, you know what I'm saying, now it's the next day, I kind of have an idea how I really feel about it. Now, first of all, before we give my opinion first, the Nets finalized the deal yesterday, sending Dennis fumbled the bag Schroder and 1 second round pick to the Golden State Warriors for the Melton dude, which is actually pretty savage for the Warriors to do. If you guys didn't remember the Warriors, DeAnthony Melton got injured, and I believe he's like out for the season. So they traded an injured player that's out for the season after he was actually pretty like playing good when he was, you know what I'm saying, in the lineup, you know. Now, he wasn't averaging like 20, 30 points per game, but you know what I'm saying, he was a solid role player. You know what I'm saying, for the squad, and you know what I'm saying, that's kind of savage for the Warriors obviously to do, but it's a business at the end of the day. And we got and 3 second round picks for, you know what I'm saying, Dennis Schroder. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I do not honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm just not even gonna sugarcoat. I ain't gonna lie, I don't agree with this. Like, I don't know why we're getting more guards. We still have pods, you know what I'm saying, we still have GP2. Adding Scrotum to the line, I just don't know how to feel about it. I always felt like Scrotum was kind of like a mid player. Now, if he proves me wrong, now I will, you know what I'm saying, like, say something and apologize later on, but I don't really see how this is going to impact the team like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really something that caught me off guard. Now, there has been a lot of, like, speculations that we were supposed to get Butler. Now, Butler, that would have been a very, very smart decision, you know what I'm saying, to go about. But I ain't gonna lie, like, bro, I don't, like, really damn near agree with this trade. Like, I don't understand, like, how, like, this makes sense. Now, the only type of timing this makes sense now, knock on wood, and just, like, prayers and stuff like that, this doesn't happen at all throughout the season. If, like, Curry was, like, to miss, like, the entire season or something like that, or just, like, something significantly happened, like, even, like, outside the point guard position, like, somebody in the shooting guard gets seriously injured and they can't play for a long time, like, this would have made sense the year, remember when Curry was out for the entire season, we had, like, D'Lo and stuff? It would have made sense for Scrotum to come on this squad, but, like, bro, we really have, like, so many guards, I just don't understand it. Like, I mean, but like I said, if Scrotum comes in and he has an immediate impact and he proves me wrong, I will 100% apologize, and I will, you know what I'm saying, admit that I'm wrong, but I really just don't agree with this. I just don't understand how he would really fit into the lineup. Like, because if you think about it, Scrotum isn't really, which you don't need to be, but he's not really like a three-point shooter. He's just more of like attacking the paint, pull up mid-range, you know what I'm saying, in transition. I think he has decent defense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much he paid the Charizard dude to call him a dynamic playmaker, but he's far from that. I'm like, not to be fucked up, like, he's borderline a scrub. I mean, am I tripping or what? I never really thought Scrotum was not that good of a player, but if he proves me wrong, like I said otherwise, we will speak about it. But this is actually crazy calling him a dynamic playmaker, but I guess. Welcome to the Warriors, Scrotum, you know what I'm saying? Come ready to play, come ready to work, because I will not hold back, you know what I'm saying, flaming you through any of the reaction vids, all right? We also have a 2-in-1. We'll look at the man, the Flight Mike, and his perception, and he'll probably have more info about it. And we're also, let me go ahead and, because it's been a minute since we've been on the Charizard dude and him and updates. Let's see if he has any other updates that we need to, you know what I'm saying, peep out about and stuff. Prayers to Joel Embiid. He suffered a sinus fracture in a couple of night games before. This is just absolutely unfortunate, man. Now, how do you guys feel about the future with Embiid, man? Like, he's just been getting injury after injury. And actually, I wanted to actually touch up on, because I did see it right here. Prayers to Jared McCain, man. If you guys don't remember, Jared McCain is a rookie, and I believe he's actually been the top 3 considerable playmaker rookie this entire NBA season. He's been playing really well. We met him for the first time. We played Ray and 1v1s back in July and stuff. He's really, you know what I'm saying, cool, down-to-earth dude. He offered that if I wanted to come out to courtside seats anytime, you know, for the Sixers game, you know what I'm saying, just hit him up ahead of time, and he got it for the free. You know what I'm saying, really down-to-earth, humble dude, man. I hate that this had to happen. You know, a torn lateral something in meniscus in his knee, that's something not to be played about, man. Hopefully he can get the right you know what I'm saying, treatment for that, man, and he's out, you know what I'm saying, indefinitely. Oh man, it's just, you know what I'm saying, prayers to him, man. And then we also got Malika Andrews and the Charizard dude making their opinions about the trade.
To go acquire Dennis Schroder from the Brooklyn Nets for 3 second-round draft picks. Schroder is someone Stephen Curry, Steve Kerr, Draymond Green all advocated for. They have a lot of respect from Dirk.
They did? So Curry and Draymond really pitched the
excited about this addition. They played against
trade
him in those Team USA Germany matches in the playoffs over the years. And when you think about it for Schroder, he has been in one of his best seasons in the NBA so far.
Really?
A career year from three-point range. He immediately becomes the Warriors' second leading scorer. And
really?
This doesn't keep the Warriors outside.
How much is he averaging this season? 1 second. How much is he averaging this season? What? Really? Guys, look at this. Bro, he's averaging damn near 20 points per game and 6 assists. Yo, if he has an impact on the Warriors, I might need to, like, you know what I'm saying, have it yeah, I might need to say something, apologize or something. Wow, I didn't know that. And now you guys know I think Curry is a little bit injured, so I want to know when he's going to come back exactly. All right, now moving on. We got the flight mic. With his opinions on his trade, and we'll cap it off.
Dennis Schroder, Ripley, being finalized is an injured DeAnthony Melton, who's out season in 3 second-round area. Heading to the Golden State Warriors, Pershon.
Just a few days ago, we made a video discussing what are the potential trades that the Golden State Warriors could potentially make. And believe it or not, the most likely scenario eventually came to fruition. The Golden State Warriors have officially agreed to a trade with the Brooklyn Nets. And this trade is significant because it gives us an insight into where the Golden State Warriors stand and how they view some of their players. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to get the latest NBA news straight to your device. And now that we get all that out of the way, do the intro.
Intro's a little long, flight mic.
So we're pretty much being given free money again. You remember on Thanksgiving when Tyreek Hill needed 1 receiving yard, and then we just need to make 4 sponsor.
My sources tell me that if LeBron James at any point comes out and says that he wants to be traded or he wants to entertain it, they're going to entertain it. No, it ain't no holding him back. Meaning, when Golden State called asking about LeBron, Rich Paul, his agent, silenced all that. Yes. If LeBron and they get to this conversation again, I'm hearing Rich Paul ain't getting it.
Well, Ryan Windhorst brought us back to reality.
Any trade that the Warriors make is going to be complicated. They have only $500,000 that they're allowed to spend more in this season. Any trade that they make, they really can't take on more money. It's possible if LeBron wanted it. Also, LeBron has a no-trade clause. I would just say that twice in the last 10 months, LeBron has had an opportunity to leave the Lakers. But LeBron has repeatedly made it clear he wants to be a Laker. And if that's the case, there's nothing really to talk about.
It's not guessing or projecting.
I mean, honestly, at this given point, like in LeBron's career, like it kind of would be more of a hassle for him to get traded and pick up and move to another place. Obviously, he can still keep his spot in Cali and stuff, but it's just like, you know, like,
so
I don't know. I can't see him get traded.
With this group?
Your point is excellent. His actions say, I want to be a Laker.
The big issue with trading LeBron from the Los Angeles Lakers to the Golden State Warriors would have been the fact that, 1, the Golden State Warriors would have had to gut out a large portion of their roster in order to make the trade happen, and 2, logistically, it just doesn't make sense. LeBron got the head coach he asked for, even though JJ Redick currently looks like he's regretting taking this job. Kind of feel bad for the guy. And the Lakers even went out and drafted his son. They crafted this unique strategy around Bronny's development where he was going to only play home games for the South Bay Lakers, and eventually they decided to pull away from that, which we have a separate video on Bronny's first incredible away game, and if it's up, we'll leave it in the end screen, but if not, it should be up tomorrow morning. So we were able to rule that one out very quickly. The next most likely trade that could happen was the Golden State Warriors trading for Jimmy Butler. But once again, there were some logistical issues here. In order to get Jimmy Butler, the Golden State Warriors would without a doubt need to include Jonathan Kuminga, D'Anthony Melton, Moses Moody, possibly one of their first-round picks in the future, all for a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler who could opt out of his player option in the offseason, which I'm not necessarily sure how likely that is at this point. In the past, superstars would easily do that because they could get more money on the market, but given the value of the aging star in today's NBA, there's a decent chance that Jimmy Butler could opt back in. But even if they did, would that necessarily yield a contending team for the Warriors?
If we get Jimmy
And the
Butler,
fact that
I
they
ain't
had
gonna
to
lie.
sacrifice all their
4-0 in
depth
the
to find
finals.
out didn't really make a lot of sense for them, which brought us to the most likely scenario. Shams told us 4 days ago that the Brooklyn Nets are open to trading Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dennis Schroder. The Golden State Warriors were interested in all three players. The Nets have received trade interest and opened exploratory conversations around forwards Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith and guard Dennis Schroder. The Warriors are among the teams that have expressed interest in those three players. All three of these players fit into the Golden State Warriors seamlessly. Dorian Finney-Smith shoots over 40% from beyond the three and can play the power forward or the small forward position. The same can be said about Cam Johnson, although he's a slightly better defender and a little younger than Dorian Finney-Smith. So the Warriors got to work. They called up the Brooklyn Nets and tried to make a trade happen. And this is where things get very interesting. Originally, we were all wondering how the Golden State Warriors felt about Jonathan Kuminga. You remember what happened with Steve Kerr and Kuminga last year when Kuminga came out and called out his head coach, saying that he lost his faith in the Golden State Warriors' ability to fully develop him. On top of that, we know that the Golden State Warriors weren't able to reach an agreement with Jonathan Kuminga on a contract extension. Kuminga is a restricted free agent in the offseason, which would give the Warriors to match any contract for him. But there's no question about it that JK is the Warriors' best trade piece right now, especially if they don't intend on signing him to a contract that could potentially pay him north of $40 million a year. When you compare that to the contract that Franz Wagner got from the Orlando Magic last year, you can imagine that JK's market is going to be similar or a little bit more than that. So the Warriors are currently all in on the development of Jonathan Kuminga and trying to figure out how successful this team could be with him in the starting lineup. Benching Draymond Green recently, and to our surprise, Draymond Green took that benching with class and grace.
Of course I'm okay with it. I have been one of JK's biggest fans since he's been here. And so if he has an opportunity to start, you can't be hypocritical. And they're like, yo, we want him to start, but it'll be for you. And you can't be like, it's not for me. Like, that don't work. Like, I'm a fan of his. I want to see him do well.
Now, the reason why this is all relevant is Shams would tweet out earlier on Saturday that Golden State is in a serious pursuit of Brooklyn's Dennis Schroder. Schroder has been one of the top lead NBA guards, pushing the Nets to a surprise start, contending for a playoff berth. Sides are in deep conversations, entering trade windows on Sunday. Now, I told you guys in our previous content to keep a lookout for December 15th. That's when teams could trade away the players that they signed in the offseason. And the Warriors wasted no time getting this
bro, that's
going.
crazy. I never even knew that rule. So if you get signed during the offseason, the NBA, you're not allowed to actually like legally trade until it's December 15th.
Charania would announce that the Brooklyn Nets are finalizing a deal to
So that's why I kept saying finalizing, because today is the 15th when I'm reacting to this stuff.
And 1 second-round pick to the Golden State
And then,
Warriors.
you know, the trade deadline is like right before the All-Star
for
break.
D'Anthony Melton and 3 second-round picks. Sources told ESPN, a dynamic playmaker and scorer arriving to the Warriors. Now you might be thinking,
Like, why is this so significant?
the significance of this trade is more on the periphery of the trade. The Warriors only have 4 second-round picks in the next 7 years, which is their 2026 and 2028 via Atlanta, their own 2029, and their 2030, which is their own or Minnesota's. It's very impressive that the Warriors were able to do this trade while only giving up second-round picks. But the significance about this trade was when...
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, to be fair, like, obviously we lost D'Anthony Melton, but he's injured for the rest of the season. I mean, like, now, Schroder ain't no all-star, but this hotkey is actually one of the rare cases that we actually had a more of a win and finesse in this trade. Usually we always lose out. Like, for example, like the Jordan Poole situation, the Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying, situation, and many of other players that we have let go. Like, even like DiVincenzo and stuff like that. Like, this actually, like, worked in our favor. Like, we got a 20-point per game score so far this season for, you know what I'm saying, excluding D'Anthony Melton. Like, we gave up, what, a couple of pieces of, like, cheese and some chips? You know what I'm saying? Other than that, like, that's really not that bad. You know what I'm saying? Especially if Schroder comes and has an immediate impact right away. So
Shams Charania initially tweeted out that the Warriors were in trade talks with the Brooklyn Nets in regards to Dennis Schroder. The reason why the trade talks took so long is the Warriors were also asking about Cam Johnson in addition to Dennis Schroder. The Warriors had the necessary
I ain't gonna lie.
salaries
Cam
to
Johnson is a scrub for sure. I definitely would have said something more if he would. Because I ain't gonna lie, I did see that. When I first seen this trade happen the other day, people was mentioning that Cam Johnson, they were trying to, like, make us give up, like, JK. Oh, bro, I would have flew to the Warriors office, bro. We had to run the fade if that happened, bro. Cam Johnson is not going to be in the league within the next year, bro. He'll probably be overseas playing with Dwight Howard somewhere. But I'm happy we didn't have to give up JK or none of the other players. We only had to give up some picks. You know what I'm saying, for Schroder
and Dennis Schroder from the Nets. Brooklyn was seeking out expiring contracts, which Golden State has an abundance of. So if that's the case, you might be wondering why it didn't end up happening. And Evan Siddery would tell us that after holding trade talks that included Cam Johnson along Dennis Schroder, the Warriors were unwilling to relinquish Jonathan Kuminga to make it happen. Golden State then pivoted to focusing solely on Brooklyn's veteran guard as a key piece to their second unit. And honestly, I think they made the right decision here. Dennis Schroder's been averaging 18 points per game, shooting 39% from beyond the arc, gives the Golden State Warriors valuable bench depth, and all they had to do was trade away an inefficient scorer that didn't really do much for them.
Don't talk about Melton. Yeah, the flight mic. Come on, man. He was a great role player, bro. He just got injured, bro. Come on.
For a championship this year,
he has an ACL injury.
Melton, there's no question about it. You don't win championships by paying players that shoot 41% from the field that average 20 minutes per game. That's how you take yourself out of the championship running. Dennis Schroder is a huge improvement here. He's having an incredible season for the Brooklyn.
I mean, to be fair, Schroder was a part of the Lakers championship run, wasn't he? So he has some championship experience.
And that's made the right call here, and they essentially could rinse and repeat with DeAnthony Melton. They could improve his value within the next 2 months and eventually reroute him to a different team, or they could just keep him for the rest of the season. It's not that big of a deal if they do, because they got multiple second-round picks for Dennis Schroder. Now, obviously, they're looking to trade Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson as well. I'm expecting them to get significantly more value for those players. But the significance about this is that the Warriors don't seem to be willing to trade Jonathan Kuminga. And I can't necessarily blame him, because he took a huge step forward as a power forward last year, and he's only in his age 22 season. The Warriors view Jonathan Kuminga as a huge part of their future, and it seems like they're completely reluctant to include him in a potential trade. At the end of the day, I give both sides an A for this trade. It's a home run for both teams. I'm glad that the Warriors didn't trade away Jonathan Kuminga for Cam Johnson either, but there's going to be plenty of more trades this week, so make sure you subscribe and turn on our notifications so you don't miss a thing. And aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Hey, shout out Flat Mike on that one. Hey, man, Warriors fans, how do you guys overall feel about this Dennis Schroder trade? Hopefully makes an immediate impact. If he doesn't, he will be here in Flight Reacts.